Hey everybody, welcome to the Falcon one-shot. We are taking a look at Odallus The Dark Call. That actually queued up right on time too. I'm really surprised that worked out so well. Anyway, what is Odallus? You're probably asking yourself right now. This is very much an homage, a love letter, a callback, a throwback, whatever other, word I could use over here to compare this to Castlevania on the NES. I'm not talking about your latest Castlevania games, those whole God of War type of clone games, which, are kind of fun in their own right. I played the first one. It was, decent. But this is definitely a callback to the NES titles. The whole linear 2D platformer, broken paths, should I go up, should I go down, etc, etc. Again, it's a game that's not going to reinvent the mold or anything like that, but it's definitely a fun stroll down memory lane. Right now we have a little bit of a cutscene going on, but let's get into the game itself and show you some of it. I have a few slots over here which I was actually practicing before we recorded this video, because obviously my hardcore gaming skills are not really up to par anymore. I've been growing up with latest, where I've been playing a lot of recent games recently, and, they're just not as difficult as they used to be back in the day. Listen to Grandpa over here. Oh, back in my day. We're going to play slot 3 over here. There's a bit of a cutscene that actually plays out over here, so let's actually, I guess I'll read this as we go along here. Haggis used to be a fearless soldier until war was no longer needed. That's my Haggis voice, apparently. He had lost the one he loved, but a child remained, a son. To provide for him, Haggis often left the village to hunt alone. He hunted instead by campfires countless times before, still this night felt different. The fire talked to him. The man felt empty, as if his essence was drawn away and there was nothing for him in this world. That warm light was the only reality, and it was calling his name. A noise put a stop to those thoughts. By the way, I hate to break character from this voice, but listen to that music, man. That is like some NES. That's like, oh, sorry. Something is happening. Something terrible. Can I talk about the music now? Yeah. That's the shit I grew up with, man. That whole bit music. Well, I'm not sure what you even call it. Is it bit? It's bit music, right? It's got to be bit music. Anyway, as you can see over here, we're in the world map. Very much like Castlevania 3, it has like split paths. I complete the tutorial mission right now. As you can see, there's probably a split. Do I want to go up through the bottom pad or the upper pad? I'm pretty sure this is unlocked as you actually open up different areas of each level itself. The levels themselves are pretty interesting, is that they actually have split paths as well. You could probably go up through one area to avoid certain monsters, or you could probably go up the other area to avoid certain traps, etc, etc. So it does give you a lot of choice in that regard for sure. So it's got a lot of, replayability in that sense, where you kind of went through one area and now you want to actually go through the game, a different type of area, right? Anyway, let's get into the first level over here and show this off here really quickly. This is straight up Castlevania, man. And that's okay with me, because you know what? Every now and then, you get a little reminder about what you grew up playing, and this is basically it for me. There's the UI itself is a bit different, though, that's for sure. As you can see, you could probably level up your sword as you go along. Armor, there's going to be relics you actually acquire over time, which will give you more abilities to actually open up different paths in the game, and things to that nature. And the orbs that you're seeing over here on the side, and the UI, right there, you can actually use this to buy items as on the fly as well. There's going to be like a merchant. You got an axe. Perfect. Which reminds me a little bit of the merchant from Resident Evil 4. But then again, every time I see a merchant in games now, it's basically just a callback to Resident Evil 4 from the other time. What are you buying? What are you selling? So let's go ahead and kill this guy over here. Got some more orbs as well. Hopefully I do relatively fine. I haven't been playing these platforming games in ages. It's been a while since I really sat down and enjoyed the classic titles here growing up. But I did take this for a spin before we started recording here today. Just because, I've been playing too much of them casual, recent games, Games just aren't really hard like they were back in my days. But, of course, I'm being really facetious when I say that, so don't take much offense to it. We have a relic, though, which is we picked up a talisman, which is actually worked as, or it works as our lives over here in this game. This guy reloads after 3 shots, so after 3 shots, go in there, slash him away, he's going to be relatively fine. Again, though, it's obviously a callback to Castlevania games, as I mentioned, but there's a lot of different instincts as well that it actually uses that are kind of unique. For instance, this right here is more of, I forget the title of the game itself, but there was an NES title that kind of invented that whole hanging on to ledges. It kind of it played a little bit like Prince of Persia on the Super Nintendo, but I know there was a Nintendo variation. I think it was like is this a Nosferatu that I'm thinking about? It's probably one of those games. I know, it's been a while. I mean, my old school game knowledge is a little bit weak these days, but especially with my degrading brain as I get older and older. But that's besides the point. But this game does borrow a lot of different elements as well, so it's not just a straight up, oh, I'm doing Castlevania 3 all over again. It does definitely have a lot of influences from other games for sure. You found a weapon bag, it will increase your total by 5. Perfect. Like, for instance, there is also, I believe, down the line, a minecart level, which is, you know, just a throwback to DuckTales, the old Uncle Scrooge down the, minecart stage. Or is it, I mean, Donkey Kong Country also did that as well. I mean, Donkey Kong Country was huge with the minecarts, but, you know, you get what I'm saying here. Definitely a game that's going to be a lot of, influences from different games. Kind of a nostalgic game down, really. But at the same time, there's also a lot of references too, so if you keep your eyes out and peeled, you will probably see a lot of them. For instance, I do believe the merchant... Let's go ahead and talk to this guy, though, really quickly. Hey, I'm Mr. Hunter, here for some food. That would be nice, my good lad. Bring me soul orbs and we could strike a deal. Our people are being massacred, and you only care for some profit. An old man has to make a living. Yeah, what a scumbag. But then again, that's how it works out in every single game, right? We have 43 orbs right now. We don't really need any food to actually heal up. Why does the soup and the pork shank both recover only 1, but this is like really expensive? That's interesting. And we have this, which is going to be your lives over here, so you can definitely buy a few lives down the path. For now, though, we're relatively fine. I want to get up to 50 and maybe get myself another life. No really reason whatsoever. But just because I want to use up these orbs. Every time I have, like, you know, currency in games, I feel like using it up. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm so poor in real life that every time I have money in game, it's just like, I want to experience what it will be like to be rich over here. And I should probably also pay attention to my jumping and platforming here. I assure you, that was just out of sheer luck. We were just talking about being poor and rich in video games. Hey, relax, Ninja Gaiden man. You need to go down right now. Oh, that was a shit attack. Come on! I dodged the ninja man, but this guy, this basic enemy, just strikes me in the face. I'm gonna go bullshit on that one right here. This right is gonna be a good example of your split paths and levels, though. For instance, right now this is gonna be locked, so we need to find a key, which we definitely will, and I'm pretty sure the key is up here. And you might have to actually defeat a boss for it. How do I know this? I've done it before, obviously. I wanted to be a little bit aware of what I was doing for this video for sure. This boss is actually really, well, not really a boss, but more like a mini boss, I guess is a proper way to call it here. Are you gonna do your thing? Excuse me, I don't, there you go. You see that net right there? If it actually lands on you, it will capture you, and he's gonna basically hammer you down. Why did you die so fast for? I wanted to be captured by the net. Look, man, you don't understand. This is not a let's play. This is a informational type of video here. Okay. Well, he died. Essentially, how that would work is he would toss that net on me. He would capture me. I would have to struggle back and forth to get out of it by hitting the D-pad to, you know, get out of it. And then if you don't get out of it in time, he rushes over to you and he smacks you with that amazing hammer. But he decided to not throw that net too often this time around, and he went down relatively fast. That's probably the easiest time I've ever had with that boss fight. Then you would use that little platform on top of the stage to actually move around to, you know, avoid him when he corners you to one side of the screen itself. But, you know, he decided to die. Either that or I'm just really amazing, apparently. So one way or the other. I prefer the one that makes me amazing, but, you know, I'm pretty sure, let's just call it, interesting AI choice there for once. Platform jumping, alrighty. And this dude over here, 3 shots and he recharges. This will pretty time to actually go in there. Now, this right here is going to be interesting because I'm pretty sure down the line you will probably get a relic that'll let you be able to move heavy items. So this will be definitely a path that is going to open up later down the line. And more than likely is what actually splits off this level to the bottom portion that we saw on the world map. And in case you don't remember what I'm talking about, I will show you once I'm done with this stage over here. So 1, 2, and 3. You're down. You're down, my friend. That's what you get for having a predictable pattern. NES games just taught me to actually just learn patterns in like every single game, because that's what the game was. That's what NES games were back in the day, just predicting pattern movements. If you wanted to play like, you know, something like Ninja Gaiden, you better know your enemy's patterns for sure. So right here I bought some food just to heal up completely because we have a boss fight coming up over here. I could buy myself another life. You know what? Let's just go ahead and... Oh. For instance, I've heard that there is an underwater path that leads to the Lost Temple. And that's definitely a reference to that big block that we saw down there. But again, we can't really move it until we get the proper relic for it down the line. I should have probably bought a few more axes. Either way, we're gonna have the first boss over here. Chief, Gale's men are attacking the village. This is treason. Have you seen my boy? Boy? Men? Who cares about those feeble souls? What in the name of the gods are you saying? Gods? Our gods are dead. Old and new. I'm my own god now. I will feast on your flesh and soul. And we're gonna have our first boss fight over here. Relatively easy. He's got like a really weird Freddy Krueger pattern of a fight almost, and this is obviously a callback to the NES title Nightmare on Elm Street as well. But there was a level where there was a boss fight where he kind of stretched out his head this way. This is relatively easy. All you gotta do is just hit him in the head a few times, and he will eventually bust the brain out of his stomach. There it is. You slash this a couple of times and he should go down. I'm not sure if you could actually get him in one combo, but the next one should be enough to kill him right here if I'm right. And you, obviously I don't have to tell you that, but you might want to avoid the flames over there as well. Hey! Oh, thank God for invisibility frames. Excuse me, my friend. I'll throw an axe to you. Can you bring your brain out already? Okay, that's horseshit if you ask me. Bring the brain out! Pinky, bring the brain out right now. Look, you piece of shit. This should be enough for the kill right here. There it is. Again, relatively easy first boss fight for sure, just to get you acquainted with what you're looking forward to here. And again, instead of an orb, what I like, instead of a big red orb that drops out of the sky after being a boss, you get a stone shard, which I thought was pretty peculiar for sure. This beast. How did the chief become it? Or became it? Falcon is past tense. He became the monster and he fought you. He didn't just become the monster, now he's gonna fight you now because that already happened. Right. Past tense future tense. I know how to speak the English dialect. I hope. This weird shard trapped a beast's soul. What kind of sorcery is this? I must make haste to Gale Castle. I have to find my boy. Kinda has a little bit of a Walt thing from Lost, you know. They took my boy! They took my son! That's my Walt impression. No, actually, not Walt, Michael. Walt was the kid that they took. I'm just all over the place today with references that are incorrect because I'm getting, one minor thing mixed up over here. Anyway, this is Odallus The Dark Call. Definitely a fun little game if you want to experience a little bit of NES nostalgia, for sure. If you enjoyed the game, check out the description below. There should be a link to the story page itself. The game should be out on July 15, which is more than likely when this video should be coming out, so, by the time this comes out, more than likely the game should be out and available to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like. The support always does mean a lot. I will catch you next time. They took my son!